Have you ever wondered what happened to the two young princes who disappeared from the Tower of London more than 500 years ago? Some people believe they were murdered. Others believe they escaped. But the truth has never been proven. This is one of the greatest royal mysteries in British history. Our story begins in the spring of 1483. England was ruled by King Edward IV. After years of war, he had finally brought peace to the kingdom. The people believed the future of England was safe because the king had two sons. The eldest was Prince Edward, who was only 12 years old. The younger brother, Prince Richard, was just 9. They were intelligent, polite, and loved by many people across the kingdom. No one imagined that within a few weeks their lives would change forever. Then, without warning, King Edward IV became seriously ill. The royal palace was filled with fear. Doctors tried everything they knew. Priests prayed day and night. The Queen stayed beside the king's bed hoping for a miracle. But nothing could save him. The king died, leaving England without its ruler. The kingdom was suddenly thrown into uncertainty. Prince Edward was now the rightful king of England. But he was still only a child. According to tradition, an adult had to protect the young king until his coronation. That responsibility was given to the king's younger brother, Richard, Duke of Gloucester. Richard was known as a skilled soldier and an experienced leader. Many trusted him. Others quietly feared his ambition. Richard travelled to meet the young Prince Edward before he reached London. When they met, Richard welcomed the prince with respect and kindness. He promised that he would protect him until the coronation. The young prince believed his uncle. He had no reason to doubt him. Instead of taking the prince directly to the royal palace, Richard brought him to the Tower of London. At that time, the Tower was not only a prison. It was also the traditional residence where future kings stayed before their coronation. So nobody thought anything was wrong. A few days later, Prince Richard, the younger brother, was brought to join Prince Edward. For the first time since their father's death, the two brothers were together again. People walking outside the tower sometimes saw them through the windows. They laughed together. They talked together. They looked like two ordinary children trying to understand a world that had suddenly become frightening. No one knew those would be the last public sightings of the two princes. Soon the windows became empty. The voices disappeared. The laughter was gone. London slowly began to whisper strange rumors. Where were the princes? Why had no one seen them? And why was their coronation being delayed? Every day the mystery grew darker. No one inside the tower was willing to answer the questions. The kingdom was waiting. But something terrible was about to happen. Something that would become one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in the history of Britain. Days turned into weeks. The people of London continued to wait for the young king to appear. Every morning crowds gathered outside the tower hoping to catch a glimpse of Prince Edward and Prince Richard. But the windows remained silent. The boys were no longer seen. At first, many believed they were preparing for the coronation in private. Others believed the princes had become ill. No one imagined that something far more frightening might have happened. While the princes remained hidden, Richard, Duke of Gloucester, began taking control of the kingdom. He called powerful nobles to meetings. Important decisions were made without the young king. Slowly the balance of power started to change. Then another shocking announcement reached the people of England. Richard claimed that King Edward IV had never been legally married to Queen Elizabeth Woodville. If that claim were true, it would mean that Prince Edward and Prince Richard were not the lawful heirs to the throne. Many people were confused. Some accepted the claim. Others believed it was only an excuse to remove the two princes from the line of succession. Within a short time, Richard accepted the crown. He became King Richard III. England had a new king. But one question refused to disappear. If the two princes were still alive, where were they? The rumors spread across the kingdom faster than ever. Some servants whispered that the boys were still inside the tower. Others claimed they had heard crying during the night. Some believed the princes had secretly been moved to another castle. Every story sounded different. But none could be proven. Then something even stranger happened. The princes completely disappeared. No guards reported seeing them. No servants spoke of them. No visitors caught even a single glimpse. It was as if the two boys had simply vanished from the face of the earth. The silence frightened everyone. Parents looked at their own children and wondered what had happened to the young princes. Nobles began asking quiet questions behind closed doors. But speaking openly against the king was dangerous. Fear spread across England. Years passed. Still no prince returned. Still no official explanation was ever given. The mystery became darker with every passing year. Some believed Richard III had ordered the princes to be killed to secure his throne. Others argued there was no proof at all. Without witnesses, without documents, and without bodies, the truth remained hidden. 500 years later, historians are still asking the same question. What really happened inside the Tower of London? And who benefited from the disappearance of two innocent boys? The answers may have been buried forever within the ancient stone walls of the tower. The disappearance of the two young princes quickly became one of the darkest mysteries in English history. As the years passed, people began creating different theories. Every theory tried to answer the same question. Who wanted the princes gone? The first and most famous suspect was King Richard III. Many believed he had the strongest reason. As long as Prince Edward and Prince Richard were alive, they remained the true symbols of the royal bloodline. Any rebellion could use their names to challenge his rule. Because of this, many historians have argued that Richard had both the power and the opportunity. But there has never been a document proving that he ordered their deaths. Not a single written confession has ever been found. No eyewitness ever came forward with undeniable proof. Another theory points to Henry Tudor. Only 2 years after Richard became king, Henry defeated him in battle and became King Henry VII. Henry also had a reason to remove the princes. If they had been alive, they could have challenged his claim to the throne. Some historians believe the princes may have survived Richard only to disappear later during Henry's rule. Again, there is no clear evidence. Only questions. Only possibilities. There were even whispers that another powerful noble secretly arranged everything, hoping to gain wealth and influence. The deeper historians looked, the more confusing the mystery became. Then, almost 200 years later, something unexpected happened. Workers repairing part of the Tower of London made a shocking discovery. Hidden beneath an old staircase, they found the small skeletons of 2 children. The discovery shocked the entire country. Many people immediately believed the remains belonged to Prince Edward and Prince Richard. The bones were placed with royal honor inside Westminster Abbey. For many years, people accepted that the mystery had finally been solved. But modern science created new questions. Experts examined the old records. Some believed the bones could belong to the princes. Others argued there was not enough evidence to be certain. Without modern DNA testing, nobody could prove the truth. Today, the royal family has never officially confirmed that the remains are those of the lost princes. The greatest mystery remains unsolved. Every generation asks the same question. Did the princes die inside the tower? Did someone secretly help them escape? Or is the real truth still hidden somewhere beneath the ancient stones of London? After more than 500 years, nobody can answer with complete certainty. The tower keeps its secrets. And history continues to guard one of the greatest royal mysteries ever told. More than 500 years have passed. Yet the mystery of the 2 young princes still refuses to disappear. Every year, thousands of people visit the Tower of London. They walk through the same ancient halls. They stand beneath the same stone walls. Many wonder if these walls witnessed the final moments of Prince Edward and Prince Richard. Historians have spent centuries searching for the truth. Old letters have been studied. Royal records have been examined. Ancient stories have been compared. But every new discovery creates even more questions. No one has ever found a document that clearly explains what happened to the princes. No witness left behind a complete account. No confession has ever been accepted as final proof. Because of this, the mystery continues to divide historians even today. Some believe King Richard III was responsible because he gained the throne after the princes disappeared. Others argue that history may have judged him unfairly. They believe later rulers had reasons to blame Richard and strengthen their own claim to the crown. Another group believes the princes may have survived much longer than people imagine. According to this theory, they were secretly taken away and raised under different names. Several men later claimed they were the lost Prince Richard. One of the most famous was Perkin Warbeck. He convinced many powerful people that he was the younger prince who had escaped. Some believed his story. Others called him an imposter. His claim ended in tragedy and the mystery remained unsolved. Today, modern technology could possibly answer some of these questions. Many historians have suggested that the bones believed to belong to the princes should be tested using modern DNA science. Such testing could reveal whether the children were truly members of the royal family. However, permission for such testing has never been granted. Until that happens, the mystery remains locked in history. Perhaps the greatest lesson of this story is that power can change the fate of innocent lives. Two young boys who should have become symbols of hope became symbols of one of the greatest unsolved mysteries in British history. Their names are remembered not because they ruled England, but because they disappeared without a trace. And even after more than 5 centuries, the world is still searching for the answer. What really happened inside the Tower of London? Did the princes lose their lives within those ancient walls? Did they escape into the shadows? Or did the truth disappear with the people who knew it? Only history knows the answer. And history has never spoken. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this historical mystery, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments. Who do you believe was responsible for the disappearance of the princes in the tower? The mystery is still waiting to be solved.